Hi, hello, and welcome to a stream again. I'm Ginger Bill, and today we're going to be working on something a bit different. Well, I've joined a jam, like a kind of a private software jam, where the aim is to create a product within a week that I then sell on itch.io. Yes, you heard me correctly. I have to make a whole saleable product within a week. I'm going to do most of it on stream as well. Not a bit of it, anyway. But yeah, this is going to be fun. Yeah. So, hello everybody. This is going to be fun. And a bit different is what I'm going to say as well. Today's stream, I'm not doing the cheese and crackers. I might do later. I don't know. I might get a bit nibble. I'm just doing some water, obviously, because water's good. But as we do with every single stream, I have to post this onto the social medias such as Twitter and Discord and whatever, so that people know. Right, let's post this into the places such as there, and there. Sorry, just seeing the side of my beard at the moment instead. Right, so that should be enough. I hope. But we'll find out if it's not. So first off, explaining what I'm actually doing and I'm going to make in a week. Because week's not a long time. So firstly, it's not a game, okay? It's not a game. That's a bit too cliche, because clearly I could make a game in a week and then do that. But I was like, I didn't want to do a game. I wanted to actually do a piece of software that would actually be useful to me as well. So if I could sell it to someone, even if I'm selling it for £1 or just over $1, whatever a pound is at the moment in dollars. What's a dollar? About $1.30 then, I guess. Something like that. I'm going to sell it for that price. So reasonably cheap, obviously. I just wanted something. So the one thing I'm going to be developing is I'm going to try and replace a tool that I use pretty much every other day, which is Milton. So Milton is an infinite like whiteboard application. And Milton's good. It's good, but it's not great. Now, Milton is open source, and I could even try and improve the open source aspect, but there's a few things here. One, I couldn't do that for the jam because it's under GPL license. But also, secondly, I'm like, I'd rather write it by myself and start from scratch and just have different approaches to the thing. Because the problem is I have loads of issues with Milton. And to fix it would just be to rewrite it. Now, I want a really decent infinite zoom app, and I know there's many things out there obviously already that exist, but some of them cost a lot more than what I'm going to be charging at. And also secondly, I'm like, it's not exactly what I want, so I just want something that's simple first off and doing it, and it should work as I expect, if that makes any sense. So if anyone's got any questions, please let me know, because I'm going to get this fun thing. So hopefully this should be fun. So I've already started work on this a bit earlier because I could. So let's change my scene to this. Here we go. Wonderful. So this is kind of what I'm doing. This is the application, and I've kind of got, this is not actually working yet, and nor is it even a really usable thing. So what I've done is I've taken the thing from Gordon or Crow or whatever I'm calling that product. Remember I did on the previous streams, which was the Flash alternative. I'm taking the guts out of that, copying and pasting that. So then whatever changes I do that, I can then pass it back into that project and doing it. So here's like I've got a Catmull spline here just showing off this nice thing. But I've just gotten with my graphics tablet. This is what the infinite whiteboard thing I'm trying to do, or blackboard, or whatever you want to call it, draw program. I've just used SDL, and the thing is, I might not have to use SDL. I might have to use the raw Windows functions. So, and I'm just doing a drawing thing here. Now, the problem with this approach that I've done here is you can see this is not good enough for the application. Because you can see I'm just drawing circles, nothing special. There is no interpolation between those points yet, which is what we'd have to generate, obviously, and see how it goes. So we have different strokes, so when we press up and down, that would generate the strokes. Now, what I'm trying to replace is Milton, which I've got open up here. Now, the problem I have with Milton is, I'll be honest with you, the rendering isn't as good. So you can see quite how choppy it is, it places. And there might not be an issue in like the grand scheme of things, but I'm like, it kind of bothers me when I'm trying to be an infinite zoom, and not just that, I've clearly got more on here. I've hit in points where this is not infinite. Like, I've hit into the actual zoom limit. I'm like, that shouldn't be possible, but I've hit the zoom limit. Yes, SDL3 might have pressure sensitivity, but I haven't done SDL3 yet bindings for Odin, so I'm not, and also it's not released yet. I'm not touching it until it's fully released. So I want to try and figure out a better way of implementing this. And it's a great little application all the time. I love an infinite like drawing program. So I can always just go like, hello guys. And I'm going to try and replace this within a week. The UI for it is a little bit meh. Like layers, I never have a use for layers personally. I know some people might, and I could always add them in the future, but like I never need them. Like this is just dead UI to me. The brushing size is not that great. You can use like pressure for opacity, but that isn't necessarily the best thing because the gradient for that isn't always good. Like you have no control over the curve. It's mostly linear. And I'm like, but that's not another thing for the pressure. Pressure should also just be width. It's not just that's hardness. And then there's a soft brush, which is like, oh, how hard is this brush? And I'm like, and you can see what the hardness is because it's doing a feathering around the rendering, obviously. Yeah? It's doing a bit of a feathering. But it's one of those where I'm like, for a lot of things, I don't need it. But then you also got the eraser stuff here as well. Like this does this, and I know how this works. It literally just paints another thing in the same color as the background. That's all it does. Quite simple, actually. But it's just more of the size is relative to the canvas. So if I get in here, take that off. Take that off. Go in, zoom in again. It's fine. So that's actually the wrong, like, takes the size relative to the canvas. I know that's size absolute to canvas. It's kind of got it backwards, in my opinion. But there's all these different things, like I can change the opacity. And I'm like, I know, but this is just not a very good UI. And the color swatch is fine, but it's not like, it's not the right bigness for me and everything. It's kind of like, I could probably try and improve this. So I'm going to try and make this, but better for me, and just try and do this within a week. This is part of the jam, at least, right? So trying to ship a new product within a week and sell it. Not just give it out for free, sell it. So it means it's a professional piece of product. So I'm going to have to try and do this and see what I can do. So clearly what I've got so far is I was just doing my rendering stuff. And you can see with the graphics tablet, this is just me showing the points that I've got. And I've already been working out on different things for like the strokes. I've already been like planning it ahead. So I haven't done it all on stream because clearly I'm like, I don't want to waste time. But like you can see this is like, oh, this is not very good because it's doing it on a per frame basis. And I'm actually wondering, is that actually good enough? Because I've got like, let's say 60 frames per second. I've actually got 144 hertz monitor, but let's say it's 60 frames per second. Is that enough resolution for this? Because if it's not, I'm going to have to get the real-time stylus API that Windows provides and implement that. How do I sell and planning? I'm not going to give the code. The code, you're seeing it being public, yes, but the code's not going to be public, right? Some stuff you're not going to see, obviously, and polish it. And I'm like, if you can copy it from the screen, great. Your time is probably worth a hell of a lot more than the thing I'm going to be selling it for. If that's what you're asking. Yeah? So, great. Right, that makes sense? Good. So this is kind of the piece of software that I'm trying to be, it looks like crap at the moment, right? I'm like, ooh. But you could easily do the interpolation between the points. So firstly, I need to just kind of, this doesn't tell me if it's an eraser or not, which is kind of what the touch bit's for. I'm using SDL for this, Would it also work in Linux? If I can just get away with SDL, then it will be working on Linux, and I could probably do it. Yes, this will all be written in pure Odin, obviously. Of course, why would I use any other language? Come on, man. Come on. But that's just me, right? So we're going to have some fun. Some real fun doing this. So the problem I've got here is I need to figure out what this finger event is. So I've already got SDO2 in here, and I'm looking for the T finger, touch finger thing. Now it's telling me like the X, the D, it's telling me the DX, DY, so like the velocity. It even tells me the pressure, right? And the window ID is telling me the finger ID and the touch ID. Now what's annoying with this is it doesn't actually tell me if it's the eraser side or if it's the pen side that I'm dealing with. Which means I probably can't just rely on SDL, which just pisses me off. I don't want to use WinTab. I might have to use the Win API, like the Windows events, like the pointer thing. But yeah. Yeah, this is what I'm saying, is I think a more accurate version would require polling multiple points per frame. Now, they use WinTab, right? Like, Milton uses WinTab. I know it does because I've talked to Serge, or Sergi, I don't pronounce his name. Whoops. Before about this. But it's just more of a, I'm not looking at their code. I'm not looking at the code for Milton because clearly it's GPL, so I don't want to touch it. Even though I've got ideas of what I'm trying to do already. Like, it probably like be the same thing in the end of the day. But so a lot of this is planning stage as well. Like, not just getting the dumb thing like I've just written here. It's big and go, whoa, 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 whoa. So this is not per frame, so it doesn't look like it's it might not be bad enough per frame. That's the thing. Like, this is pure. There's no latency. This is like per frame. It's perfect. Again, people keep saying SDL3 is better. SDL3 is not out yet. It may be finalized ABI, but it's not out yet, so I can't use it, and I'm not porting it because that's going to take me more time than worth it. So it's more of a got to figure something out. So my question is SDL enough? Because it's got pressure in here, by the way. But does it have the information for the eraser? Because if it does, that's probably good enough. And the interpolation that I'm going to be doing is probably something like catmull spline, or it could be something like that. It should be good enough for what I need. But yeah, good day to you as well, yeah. So it's a very good question is, can I figure out which, it says finger ID, because it might be possible, right? And the way I'm going to do it is I've been adding these like touch points here. So let's call this a touch point. So we can have a position like that. And then we can have the pressure like that. And then we can have the finger ID like so, right? Right? So when we come to do this, we can just do the touch point, touch point, touch point. We have the position because equal to that pause. We have the pressure. So it's on the event T finger pressure. And then finger ID. Oh, that's not how you spell finger. That's finger ID. Finger ID, right? So now it's not going to be rendering. So this is the position. And I thought that was how I wrote it. No, it's not. Sorry, it's that case, not Pascal. That, yeah, it's Pascal case, yeah. It says finger ID is a different type. So what is finger ID? It's an I64. Oh, okay. That was kind of surprising to me, to say the least. Let's just do like that. So now I've got all the information in there, and it should still do it. And by the way, the project I'm calling at the moment is Cuthbert. I couldn't think of a better name. Like, it's just Project Cuthbert. It's fine. Like, we had Gordon, right? We'll have another man's name or a surname. Like, we could say Alicia Cuthbert, but like, now that's, I'm not saying it's dating me, but she's now in her 40s, right? So let's do that. Let's go to the main and let's figure out the radius. So this would be the radius, right? And I'm going to times that by the pressure as well. So if I now do this, that doesn't seem to deal with anything to do with the fucking pressure. Pardon my French. That's interesting. So I don't think we can... Is Cuthbert of Lindisfarne? And I'm like, technically, yes, it is. I was thinking about St. Cuthbert. You're correct. That is absolutely correct. But no, this is where I'm saying the pressure. So it might be we have to implement the Win. So it might not work in Linux. We just can't port to Linux straight away. We'll port it afterwards, obviously, which is fine. But I'm like, finger ID. I might just cheat. And it's going to be really bad. Yeah, they're different. They're different. So that might sound like a... let's just do that. So if event type equals finger down, I am going to just print what the finger ID is. So this says 64. Now that says 65 or 66, 67. This makes no sense. So as soon as I keep swapping, it changes the ID. That's useless. What about Touch ID? Right? That's that number. That's that number. Okay, that's useless. So what I think I've come to the conclusion, not we, I'm not talking the royal we, is that this is useless. And I'm going to have to write some COM API stuff. Help me, please. Please. Please help me. Also, I need to just figure out what this camera's being, like, cropped. It's a bit like, like, oh God, how do I change the cropping? Because it's a bit more... how do you transform? Yeah, here we go. Oh, I don't know how to do it. Whatever. It's mobile input. Yeah, I'm not. All I want to deal with for the moment is if it works with a mouse and if it works with a tablet, like I've got here, which is a Wacom Intuos Pro, obviously, I'll be happy with. Again, it doesn't have to. It's a jam, right? We can get. Oh, you're probably right. Right click, transform. Okay, so yeah, I'm a bit not that clever. Right, so. So there's the position, there's the size. Oops. Okay. I don't crop the left by at all. So if I do the right, so we do, let's say 500. Okay, now you can see the Django effects thing there. So if I then... Oops. Ooh, transform... Let's say that's 700. Let's say that's 300. Yeah, that looks better because now I'm actually in the center of the screen, for me at least. I'm naturally there. That's better. The jam, yeah, raspberry. So the jam is it's effectively called the shipping jam, right? It's effectively what we're trying to make a product in a week and ship it and sell it, right? That's it. And then you can buy it on itch.io, which I'll need to set up. I do have an account, but I haven't sold anything on that before. It'll be fine. I'll legally fine. I've got a business. So let's do that and figure this out. So I think this code is bad. So all I know is there is, for people in the chat, they might know more. I know there's the real-time stylus thing, but then there's also the Windows Ink stuff, right? I don't want to use the Wacom one because I know it is good, but also it's not good because I need to poll enough. So yeah, this is going to be fun. Like, what is the Windows Ink API? Like, where's the com API. Oh, no, hang on. Com API, no. Windows U. Is it this? Because this is the problem. Is I know there's the WM pointer stuff, right? Like pointer down is this. But this is when you poll it is per frame. So do you have multiple that you have to deal with per frame, or is it? I don't know. This is the thing. So there's pointer update as well. Like with the SDL thing, we could probably override, get the Windows events as we need, get them. Like Microsoft documentation is not bad. This is the problem is you have to know what you like you're looking for, and then it's great. Like it really is great in that regard. But I don't know. Yeah. Come on. So it's saying here's the primary button is the first button down, is the third button down. Now I know I have written somewhere the Wacom stuff already. Like all the bindings to do it. So we could use that. And I don't know. So by the way, I'm just going to go to this chat here so we don't want to keep seeing chat and see him looking at docs. The most boringest thing in the world. So think this through. It is actually a really good question to actually think through, to be honest with you. I swear I've got like a thing that I've already dealt with, like the WinTab stuff. I swear I've written this somewhere before. I swear. I'm just searching through my own stuff, to be honest with you. Yeah, by the sounds of it, I'm going to have to do the events normally. Now, I know STL does have some like the... Doesn't it have like just normal events that you can, like the Windows events? Or I can always hook them up, can't I? Probably. You know what? Because it is now 11 o'clock at night at my time zone, I think it's time for cheese and crackers. So, even though I'm having to use the competition to write this, you're going to understand very quickly. This is the whole point of me using this application. Every time I stream, I use something like this. Oh, that is too thick. Let's go a bit thinner. Right. I'll be 2 minutes. There you go. I'll be right back. Right. Back with the cheese and the crackers. Obviously. I've got a stinky camembert. Yeah. And I've got an unopened packet of Jacob's Selection. That is how fancy I'm going. So, this is the stream, obviously. Right? So, come on, we're going to enjoy the stream by eating cheese and crackers while also planning out things, and this is going to be fine. So I'm just looking at the chat. What have I missed? I should use a timer or something. Oh, I can't be bothered. Like, you guys can figure it out. Look, I was 2 minutes, right? I'm not that fancy. I could probably write a timer on stream, but I've got something else to ship. Right, got the plastic off. Ooh, cardboard I'm ripping up. Oh, and none of them are cracked. No, none of them have cracked. Oh God, that's a first. Right, for people who don't know, this is what a cheese and cracker selection is from Jake. Very fancy, obviously very, very fancy. They're showing how you could eat it, but I'm not going to eat it like that. I'm just going to eat it with cheese. So yes, it's a camembert, so clearly stinky enough. It's not that stinky. It's not like the worst cheese in the world to eat. But yeah. Eat that. Bon appetit. Exactly how I pronounce it in French, obviously. Right. We get to programming again. Okay. We're going to have to figure out not using the SDL API because we can't even figure out if I'm using the eraser or not. It's camembert. Camembert is the cheese. I'll tell the chat. Oh, also work on a piece of software called Cuthbert. So camembert, Cuthbert, Camembert, Cuthbert. Close enough, right? I mean, I could have got some brie, but it's just easier to cut. Let's go for the cheddar. This time a cheddar. Very nice. Oh, wonderful. So, before I do any more, I'm going to see what the window, the WM pointer events are when you do the window handling. So we need to override the event handling system somehow. I just don't know how I do that. Maybe you could just peek a message. That's not, probably works, right? Also, let's get rid of that just Catmull spline I've just done. There we go. Sorry, more cheese. Could have eaten it, obviously. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So. Okay, so. Do I remember how to do the SDL? Like, get the window. Oh no, I know how you do it. But I'm just trying to think, is that the best way of doing things? I might not even need it, so. Okay. I can't remember what the peak message thing is for like Win32. Peak message. And I want the W version, obviously. No, let's not do the peak message. We want effectively override the win proc, right, for SDL. Right, we're going to go for a digestive this time. Now we're going very extravagant. Digestive, I don't mean the sweet ones. I just mean the very savory, biscuity kind of one with some camembert on top. Yeah, of course. Hmm. Hmm. They show me in Pascal, but that's close enough, right? Well, the other option is we actually just look at how SDL works. The problem is, I want to look at SDL2. Yep. Look at the source. Let's look at... It's going to be under wherever the WinProc stuff is. So we have to figure out this out. So events. Not scan codes for Windows. Window events. No. Let's go with window events, yeah. No, but this is not what I want. It's system related stuff. Core, yeah. Windows. SDL Windows, yeah. No, that's not exactly what I'm looking for. So this is going to be fun. Just getting this sorted is going to be the fun bit, and then I'm going to have to worry about the rendering. Then I'm going to have to worry about everything else, and it's like, oh god, this is. It should be done within a week. That's what I'm saying, especially in like the evenings on stream. I don't know where to look. The problem is I can't search because it will do the wrong branch. I'm looking for. It will be under one of these, right? But I'm like, I want to know where it gets handled, so someone will know exactly. Wind proc. No, it's not that. So it's not under core. No, I can't search because it's on a specific branch I'm looking at, okay? So I can't trust the search. Pretty big. Window? Okay, here we go. So it does do the pointer stuff, right? But I want to make sure that those So it looks like it's only just taking in that one there, but then it updates it with that L parameter. So it might have multiple per frame. I don't know. Or is it just one per frame would do? We'll work out. Okay, so you can do different pointers. You can do the PT pen thing with the pointer type. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. This is half the problem. Is like the docs are great, but I don't know if this is the docs I want. Because again, I already know about the real-time stylus one, right? And real-time stylus is technically the right thing I need to have, but I'd have to implement this from this header. Where the heck is that header defined is a different question. Say I've got this stupid thing here. At least I know what the that crap is, but that's not useful. Okay, so it's an rtscom.dll. Wow. But that doesn't tell me anything else. Let's go back to the digest one. These are so good. They're just effective digestives, right? But without sweetness. What? Okay, here we go. There's an enum. Loads of stuff in it. I know how this is defined. That's not the problem. So I'll look at this. It's fine. Oh, the real-time size 2? What does that, like, entail? Is it better? You get flicks. So it checks for flicks and stuff, okay? You're a number 3? Yes, a number 3. And that checks for multi-touch enabled. What about number 4? Is there a 4? No, synchronization. You can't see this text. It's probably tiny. However, should be doable. Let's do the Windows API. It'll be fine, right? I've done these enough times. So I'm going to put the graphics tablet out of the way so I don't get too many crumbs on it. And just have one bit more of cheese because it is delicious. Let's go for a biscuit, one of the crackers I've not had yet. One of them. All right. Last bit of cheese until we've done the programming. So we're going to implement this COM API. Should be doable. Right. Have fun, shall we? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Like that. We're going to copy and paste all of that. It looks like it's a bit set for me, so let's call this a flag. Like that. Oops. Get rid of all that. Oh, look, they look like they are completely contiguous. We can just go 0 to 1 on that, right? So, okay. Okay, so that's that. There's the flag set now. We can copy and paste all that again and implement it all, right? Except for the default ones. The default ones, for some reason, has this insane, like, thing here, right? Look at that. Look how stupid that is. Like, actually stupid. Okay, so now there's a bit set. It's now going to complain it because I've probably got some... None isn't in there, so that's fine. That works. There you go. Yeah, the repo does have docs, but I'm finding it out. So we've got stylus info. We're gonna... This is what happens. You look for flipping headers and do it. Tablet context ID. CID, which is the stylus ID. We're going to figure out where those types are defined later. B is inverted cursor. You know, I don't know why I'm typing this out. I could just copy and paste it, but like whatever. Now those, I don't know where they're defined. So stylus ID is a cursor ID apparently. Cursor ID, is that the same as doing that? And then the tablet context ID. I have no idea what that is. Whoops. Move away, cheese. Move away. What is the tablet's context ID? How is it defined? Sometimes you just have to randomly find things. Just to... Oops. Copy. The D word. Okay, that's good to know. Cursor ID, how is that defined? That's a D word as well. Okay, so that's okay. We can carry on with all our stuff. We've got stylus Q. We've got all these different enums to add next. But I won't do yet. Because what I need to implement is clearly this com API thing. So if I go back and I'm going to put this onto the side because you don't need to see that. I now go open up the Odin Windows one. Like, let's do the Direct 3D stuff because I did that ages ago. We got to implement all of the com API stuff. So you have to effectively look at this layout. Yeah. IUnknown is defined in there, so we can just do it later. So this is going to be the interface for the real-time thingamabobby, right? Then we've got this. Do it all lowercase. So that goes to that. That goes there. That goes there. And then this is where it all goes a bit weird. Because, sure that's the... It's a middle interface. It's what the flipping... What? So 9... Sorry, this is where things get a little bit confusing to me at times. So, only just at times, obviously. That should be... Yeah, it is. Yeah, so that is correct. Sorry, it's just how it's structured was a little bit weird. We've got this in the IUnknown interface, which is we know is defined here. And then that's got that V table there. So that's going to be called the V table. So then we're going to have to look at all of this, and I'm just going to copy and paste this code. Figure out what those methods are here, right? That's not Odin, that's C++, what am I doing? Okay, so we have all the names. I'm going to copy and paste all of those names. And just put them there. And start doing this. So, got a this on every single parameter. And then most of them are going to return a H result. Well, for the timing. I'm going to modify them later. So we have, this is PF enable Win32 bool. That was done. That one is F enable Win32 bool. We've got, it's a pointer to a handle pointer. Okay. And then the other one is the hardware, it's the Win32 handle pointer. Yes, let's just copy and paste that. It's a rect, obviously. I probably don't need all of these actually defined. Like it's just there. They might not need any of these. The next one we've got is a little bit more complicated. So we've got an I index, the add stylus index. Yep, that's a Win32 ulong, and then we have a PI plugin pointer to a whatever that is. Another interface. Great. So to keep this dumb, it's blank now. Right, welcome to the stream. You're seeing me port com API stuff to Odin. Wonderful, right? Yeah. Wonderful. That was all right. That says remove. Yeah, so the next one is get stylus input. So I index ulong. Add stylus async. So we've got to do another one of those. It's not sync plugin. This is now the async ones. Yeah. That's going to be that's going to remove. So the remove is a double pointer to the async one. Then you have remove all. Let's group them. Like that. Now we need to get a sync stylus plugin, which is that. And then we have to do the PC plugins thing like that. Then we have get the child stuff, which it's a real-time stylus thing again. So PIRTS. That, yeah. Put ref child thingy. What? Oh no, I've done that. No, that's the PPS. Sorry, that's the. I misread that. That one's the pointer to the pointer. That one's the actual thing. They all return H result. In fact, does every single one return? Yeah, they all return H result. So I've got that correct in the first place. Next one is add the custom styling. So this is SQ stylus Q P GUID ID is a GUID, and then it has CB data ulong. God, I'm sorry, this is boring as hell, I know, but like that. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, thank you very much for the raid. Anyway, I have 124 people. Right, so for people who have just joined the raid, I'll explain what I'm working on. I'm working on an infinite whiteboard canvas thing. So this is Milton, right? This is what I normally use every day. My problem with Milton is it's okay, but it's got, like, when you draw with it, the input is great, it's not a problem, but let's just say I've got this, yeah? Thing is, if I zoom in with this, you can actually see the rendering isn't very good. You can see the linear interpolation going on. There's nothing smooth. It isn't changing the rendering based on what the zoom level is. So you actually have this thing which isn't really that good, right? And it's kind of a, not that good. There's some other things as well, like clearly the resolution isn't as good. There's a few things I'd love to change about it, like the UI isn't that good. Like layers, I never use layers. I know some people could. Like, this is just not what I want. Well, I can also do a rotation, but like it's why is it under layers, the rotation? The wrong place to put it. The UI is all a bit dodgy. The pics, it is all stuff like I would want to improve about this. So clearly I'm going to try and improve it by doing all of this and like going like, hey, Milton is okay. Is okay. But the thing I'm going to be working on, which I'm calling Cuthbert at the moment, right? Cuthbert. Oops. That's not how you spell. Pardon my handwriting. That's the thing we're going to be working on this week. And the whole idea is, this is a jam I'm working on. So if we can get this done in a week and sell it as part of the jam, it should be okay. So my frame should be okay within a week, I'm guessing. So the first thing is I'm trying to get the real-time stylus API working, which I've never used, but hey, we're figuring it out, right? Should be doable, right? Right? Oh. Right, let's get some more cheese and crackers. I'm going to eat the whole of this camembert. So much fat. But it's healthy for you, fat, right? Fat's very good. Cheese is great for you. Cheese makes you good, gets you good dreams as well, because how do I put it? The cheese board, or whoever they said, the cheese is good for your dreams, so I believe them, obviously. Because why would a lobbyist group lie? Why? Why would they? Now, a lot of these I'm just going to mock out because I don't think I need all of them yet. Effectively, I just need some stuff. Oh, right, let's just get, yeah, it's the right one. We nearly got this one implemented. Doesn't mean it's going to work. All this work and it doesn't work. That's on the get styluses, yep. Well, that one's got stylus ID on it, so we copy and paste that. SID, which is stylus ID. We got properties there. And then we've got the GUID things there. We have more of those properties by pointer this time. As well as the pointer to the GUIDs, the double pointer at this point, yeah. And then lastly, probably not the last one either. You know what? I don't have to do capital float. I know what a float is. For the U long, I don't trust because it's Windows. No, it's packet property. Okay, so some things are not going to work. Like that doesn't work. Pointer handle is apparently not defined. Is it not? Okay. Let's go. Oh, fuck's sake. This is a bug I always hate. So you have to specify this correctly, otherwise it doesn't do it. Great. Where is handle pointer defined? Because I thought handle pointer, it's not even in that list. Oh, for fuck's sake. Right. Pardon my French again. Okay, so handle pointer is just a U32, right? So we can just do that. Say it's distinct as a U64, right? H result. Oh yeah, that's because I didn't define it everywhere. Right, that's going there. I stylus async. I never defined it, even though it's going to be mocked out for the time being. Stylus Q will add, actually, because I think that's just an enum. Like this. So we have an enum. No, it's a distinct bit set of that thing. Yeah, so when we have the flag thing defined, we can then just... Oh, no, it's not, because they're not flags, are they? They are... That isn't a flag. It looked like a flag. It's not. And let's put that... Sorry, let's just do that there. Whoop. And then just put none as that. Right. Okay, that's fine. It's now asking for the ink cursors. And the tablet context ID wasn't under Win32. I defined it elsewhere. And then packet property? Don't know what that is. So, yeah. I don't know what a packet property is. Is it in here, defined anywhere here? Bless my face. I just sneezed randomly, as you do from time to time. That's a packet property. It is a struct, obviously. It's got a GUID. And then property metrics. Property metrics? And then that's got all of this in here. But property units, I don't think are defined there, are they? They're not. So, I bet they're defined above, aren't they? Here's an enum. Of course it's an enum, I was expecting that. Copy paste that. Copy paste that. Flatten it. Do that. Do that. So now it's looking for H results somewhere. It's complaining. Win float doesn't exist. I'm like, yeah, it's F32 for God's sake. What is that? It's a destruction callback? Okay. So it's a procedure with the system calling convention, and it takes in a raw pointer and doesn't do anything. Okay, that's dead simple. And then that's meant to be a win32, win32. Okay, so now that's bound. Oh god, this is going to be a pain because I have to do the COM API stuff and I always forget how to do it. So, should work, right? This might not be enough. Like, I don't even know how to use it. So I'm looking at the real-time stylus thing. Put the hardware handle in there, because I'm going to have to cast anyway, aren't I? Get enabled, put enabled. Put enabled. It's not even set, it's put. Yeah. I don't even know how I meant to use this. So I real-time stylus. SDL2. Has someone done this before? Okay. Someone kind of has by the looks of it. Okay, so we create the... I'm just going to read through this code here. Someone's got a gist, right? A GitHub gist. I'm not calling it gist. It's GitHub, not GitHub. So, I'm calling... Okay, so you have to... They've got it extended here. You have to take the synchronous plugin and then extend it and add those methods in. Okay. Oh, shit. This sounds like hell. Have I just implemented an interface without realizing it's not what I want? Oh, fuck. I know I've done the WinTab stuff before, right? I know that kind of works. Urgh. This is fucking annoying. Pardon my French again. Take. Oh. Okay, so how does this actually work? So you got this callback here. It's taken in the packets. So these are the packets. Yeah. This is for the packets callback, which is the async, the sync plugin. I'd have to I could implement this. It's not actually that difficult. It's just annoying. You go through the packets, and then you would deal with them. Ink space to pixels. I'm like, yeah, sure. I mean, oh. This sounds dire. I hate COM API. I hate the COM API stuff so much. Seriously. I forget that OOP exists at times, and then when I get reminded of it, I'm just like, okay, so I'm not going to share my screen because I swear I've done WinTab stuff before in Odin. So I'm just going to have to search my code base somewhere. Because the other one is the pointer updates. Because do I get multiple events per thing with the Windows Ink? Because if I do, I'll do that. But like there's the... I have a hunch, so I'm sorry, I'm literally not showing you code because I've clearly got some stuff which I'm not meant to be showing anybody. Okay, so I know how to do a WinProc, obviously. But I'm wondering, how do I add it? Oh, I know how to add it. Right? So I've got to be very careful here about what I'm doing. So this is all probably nonsense, what I've just written. But I'm not going to delete it. I'm just going to comment it out, obviously. This might be useful for someone else in the future, so I'm going to keep it for some reason. Go back to the Windows platform stuff. And then I'm going to do the get the window proc call from SDL, store that, and then return that originally. So this would be original SDL win proc. And then the win proc type, if I remember correctly, which I do, it is a C declaration, I think. Did I import Win32? Yeah. Got that. It's got the message, which is U32. It's got a W parameter, which is like that. L parameter is like that. And then does it return anything? I can't remember. It's like an L result, isn't it? Yeah. Like that, yeah? So that's the WinProc type. Yeah? So I'm going to call that custom WinProc. There we go. Dead simple, right? We need to get the platform data out of here somehow. We're going to just get the context first. So context from that. I'm just mocking it out first. We're also going to do, let's just say default context for the time being for this, because it doesn't really matter too much like what the other context thing is. And then we're going to return return context original SD window proc h window message w param l param, and just do that. So now I need to figure out how to get the context from that thing, but I know you have to do stuff. So when I add this here, let's call, I think it's SDL. No, it's not SDL. It's Win32, obviously. So I've got the Win32 window something Odin. No, where would it be? User 32, isn't it, in Odin? It's I can't remember which pointer it is, which one it is, because you have to get the thing itself and then store it to the thing, and we do it that way, right? So I need to set window. So it's Win32. I'm going to do this. Set window long pointer W. In fact, we could probably do this much earlier on, around about here. Right, and then we need to get the window handle. So if we get the info, SDL sys WL info, and it's SDL dot get window WM info. There's a bit of a typo difference. I don't know if it's my fault or if it's just the thing, right? We can get that window thing from doing this. So if we do the Win32H window thing like that, it's going to be indo info.win.window. You get it? That's great. Now I need to get the new window proc. So that's the custom wind proc, right? I'm going to call it WP. And that's going to be, we're going to cast that to a raw pointer. Do a uint pointer, and then I've got to do the Win32 long pointer trick. Now I need to get the SDL one, yeah, and that's going to be Win32. So that's setting the new one. Window long pointer W, and I need to then pass in the G, I think it's wind proc, and then put that one in. It gets me the SDL one. And the thing is, with this context here, we could probably have a global context, but that's a bit of a bodge, and I don't want to do that if I can help it. I know there's a capital I somewhere. Where's the capital I? Doesn't matter for the time being. So original. Okay, so that, let's ignore that for the time being. So platform data. Yeah, there's the capital I. You cannot, wait. Cannot cast that from int. So I have to do that, I think. Yeah. That's, oh, that's platform data. That doing it? Yeah, that'll do it. So now it'll crash, right? Because that's a nil pointer, so it's not going to work. But we need some way to get that context, and I don't want to have to rely on a global variable if I can help it. The problem I've got is that the global variable is kind of what I need, because I bet it defines shit in here that, like, window proc instance user data. I bet user data is already set, right? Just to prove that, I think it's get, right? So I'm going to print whatever is at the user data parameter. And I bet if I do that, I'll find something. Expected to, yeah, I don't need that parameter, you're right. I get 0. So it hasn't been set yet. Okay. That's doable then. So we could set the thing there, and we could put the context in there. So when we get the user data, here, that needs to be a uint pointer. So does that. Got all those casts. Okay, so now it works again. Right? But now we can now effectively bypass SDL's nonsense. Yeah? So we can now do the correct handling of those stuff. So we need to switch on the message. And I think it is the... Oh, God. It's going to be... Pointer. Is it the pointer stuff I'm looking for? Yeah, so pointer update. Okay. Pointer update. It's going to modify even on like hovers, which is not what I want to do. So win32w pointer update. What messages are on this kind of thing? So I don't care if it's like whether the message is generated by his lifetime. It's fine. It only needs to care if it's in contact first. So I don't know what these macros actually do. That's half the problem. But yeah, we can probably do the win32 get x l param kind of thing. So we get the x coordinate and the y coordinate, obviously. I think they probably already exist, don't they? Yeah. If I now come here, we can now see that that is going to be that. These are this is in world space, like not world space, the space of the monitor itself. What? I'm sorry. How much has Go inspired? Go has inspired me a bit, yeah, but it's in general like Rob Pike has in general. So yeah, someone says more like Delphi mix JavaScript. Where the heck are you getting that from? Yeah, so this is the thing. I probably shouldn't have used SDL in the first place now because I didn't in my old code. And I might go back to that now. But the reason why I used SDL, and this may sound bizarre, was so I could actually get the multi-samples, because I was trying to do it manually and it wasn't working. And I might have been done something wrong. And someone might tell me, whoa, that's dead easy to fix. So just do that. And I'm like, I might go back, because to be honest with you, STL's not really giving me any benefit here. This is the fun thing. So I'm getting the positions right, but I need to go with regards to the window space, and I need to get the pointer type. So, pointer ID, get pointer ID W param. That's not a macro, so I need to figure out what these macros actually are and search for them here. So there should be a few of them, but I'm like, I'm not looking at the I know it's a macro. Well, how is it defined? Wonderful. Is it in this header? So apparently that's missing. Oh, so it's so simple actually. So what the answer is you convert that to a D word, and then you can cast it. You get the low word of it, like that, and then you convert that to a uint. So I can just go with U32 on that. So that is the pointer ID for this. So that says 85. Great. Whatever that means. So we can just go pointer update, pointer down, pointer up. Yeah, that's what the Rust people are doing. I'm just looking what they're doing. Get frame info history. So I might be able to get multiple entries in there, which sounds like a good idea actually. So is that already a thing I've got defined elsewhere? So you guys can't see it because I'm trying to find out if I've got those things defined. The answer is no. Okay. I want to see if it's pointed down first. So actually, let's just do if message equals this. I'm going to have to get the down event. So yeah, there you go. So now I've got the down event. Yeah, that is great. We want to add another function in from Win30. It's not Win30, it's user32. So we need to add another fucking hell. Sorry. User32. This case, I think it's C. Pointer ID. Entries count. Pointer count. Pointer info. Pointer info. And it returns a bool. We need to get foreign imports in here now as well. Foreign import system user32.lib. Right, we can probably add this to the actual Odin thing in a minute, but I'm not going to yet. Because I now need to know what is this pointer info data type. Making sure it's not even defined anywhere yet. So, but we can push this up here, so it's all levels of pointer info. Wow, that's a bit of a beast for type. Like that. All those U32s can become that. 132. 132. Oh, now this is, sorry, just implementing everything manually now. But, oh, I hate with this Windows. Can it just not? I only want it quartered, especially on a live stream. Okay. And I'm just going to call them the PT things because honestly that makes more sense just for this particular case. So then we have pointer flags. that's a bit annoying because pointer flags. It doesn't say how it gets defined, but I'm going to guess. Stop doing that. That's what I want. It's a D word. For the time being. And then we've got pointer change type. It's an enum again, so that's wonderful. Get rid of all that. There we go. What? Error base type c.int. What? I've not imported it C, have I? Whoops. Okay, so that's working. We can get the frame history on that. So that's got the handle. Yeah. No, it's not handle. It's the pointer ID. Entries count. Pointer count. Pointer info. I bet I have to call this a few times just to figure out how many I actually need. So I bet the next parameter is going to be just nil, right? Yeah. Okay, so I don't care about. We can do this. X, Y. Let's figure out how many entries count and pointer count there are. Okay. Just one. It's on the click. But let's do a pointer update. It's always, oh no, sometimes two there. There's sometimes two per frame. So that's okay for the entries count. Yeah? But effectively, apparently the point and info count is going to be these two multiplied together. So this is going to be the pointer info count. And also, if this is not okay, let's just go or break on that thing. I don't really care too much. It's going to be those two multiplied together. Like that. And again, I need to make sure I've got enough memory for this. So I'm going to assume like a certain buffer size. We're going to have to allocate things, but it's all right. We can probably do a temporary allocator thing. So pointer infos, make pointer info that context.temp allocator, raw data. I'll put nil in there as well, because I don't need them. Or do I need them? No. Yeah, I do need them. Sorry, what am I doing? So then I can go through all of these. So for each pointer info in the pointer infos, now got it right. But I probably want to do it in well, yeah, so it says doc says here do it in reverse. Because it retrieves in reverse chronological order with the most recent entry in the first thing. So I do need to do this in reverse. So if I copy the date, like so, we can figure this out, right? Whoa, it's achy now. So I'm going to just print this out. Yeah, to see what actually info is in there. Hell of a lot is what I'm saying. So it's even got the position, so we don't even necessarily have to get the thing there. These are all PT pens, right? So let's just make this, call this PI. It's what's the PT pen? So pointer type. So if the pointer type doesn't equal PT pen, continue, right? So all the one I'm actually caring about at the moment. But the thing is it pointer, touch, mouse, pen? I mean, technically mouse as well. Like, I'm wondering if I just use a mouse over this, not just the pen, does that work? No, it's only caring about a pointer, actual pointer update. So let me just do. I don't know what the mouse, I think it was like motion or something like that, or. Oh, I don't know what it's meant to be called. Right, but I'm going to have to do both things. The mouse and the pen are going to be different inputs, obviously. So if I now do this, that's printing out like I expect. But if it doesn't matter too much. PT pixel location. Yes, it's got a lot of points. So then we need to convert that pixel location to the local coordinates. Point to screen. I know there's a point to screen. I just can't remember what it's called. Client to screen, or screen to client, I think it is. So Win32 screen to client. And I have to put the... Okay, get my pen out again, sorry. Yeah, now that's now in the right coordinate space. That's wonderful. So we're getting the coordinate space of that mouse movement, and we're getting more of them than we need. That's great news. Did I get a haircut? I mean, yes, but I just shaved it off, went number 2 all over, because just cheaper. Right, we've got the time coordinates, got the history count, the input data. Pointer flags, I don't have them sorted, but it's just more of a... Is it in contact? So I might just add these in, right? And I'm going to have to figure these out. So we've got new... We've got a lot on these here. So like we've got in contact, right? And then that says 4, right? So that says OX, all the 4s. So log 2 of 4 is 2. Yeah? I don't care about the buttons. I don't... Primary cancelled. Down is not a bad one to have. So down. Update is that one. Up. Yeah, that's another one we can deal with. There's only a few we actually need in practice. There's the wheels on there. In range, maybe. I mean, we ignore that one. So this one here is whatever this is in hex. Yeah, so log 2 of that is 16. That's 17. That was 18. Right? They're our actual flags. So first off, we need to check to see if it's in content. So if pointer flags in contact. So if it's not in contact, like it's not over, like this is in contact, yeah? That makes sense. Yeah? Seems like enable mouse in pointer is needed for mouse. Is that correct? I mean, I'll do that. This is when use 32, isn't it? Yeah, so we might already have this defined somewhere, but if that's the case, I'll enable it like here-ish. True. Yeah, now it works. Hey, thank you very much, Boston Mass, for that. So should be fine. So now we've got these points because technically we need to register it. I honestly think I shouldn't be needing SDL. Seems to be more than it's worth. Honestly, so I'm going to. I've not even made a Git repository for this yet, and I probably should. So before I do anything else, let's Git. No, I need to set a Git repo here. Okay. Git add. I'm not committing. I'm not pushing or anything like that. Initial commit. Commit. There's no pushing. That's great. It's because what I'm going to do now is get the code that I had from Gordon or Crow TD or whatever I call it. Is it that one? Is it that one? That one? No. Is it over here? Here it is. I wrote some platform code because the problem is I honestly think like not even bothering with SDL helps bet more. If I now copy and paste that back in, it says CrowD, so we called that Cuthbert. It's now complaining because I changed all the names, but window size. We didn't have any. No, we can always just change this rendering code. So platform draw. Like a lot of it is going to be there. Like those shaders have probably not been modified at all, but I'm going to change them anyway. I mean, I thought I got rid of depth test. I thought I just copied and pasted the right code. There's no clip rec stuff either. We don't give a shit about that. Now it is rendering black. But that's kind of expected, I think. I've just copied and pasted the old stuff. Yeah, it's just I was trying to do the what's it called? Trying to get like anti-aliasing. This is not working now. It's a black screen. Any reason there's a black screen? Okay, that works. But now it's kind of like it is rendering. That is actually surprising. It's rendering, but it's not rendering right. So this is the win proc that I'm going to have to modify, by the way. So if we go up here. Copy paste, oops. Copy paste that. Back down to the win proc. We now add in that particular case for the switch. Like that. It says C has not been imported. User 32 has not been defined, obviously. I know it hasn't. So we're going to just do it there. I should probably put all the foreign imports at the top. And And then W param is actually got a capital P in it. So does the L params, because they were actually the right conventions. Make context has not been defined in this context, obviously. I bet it says runtime is not defined, is it either? Okay, so why is it now rendering like wrong? Seriously, I'm fucking, just screw SDL. I don't need SDL. It's not working for me. But some reason this is going like, sorry, the weird hand measurements, there's nothing. It's just the colors look wrong. So I'm just going to get rid of the texture and check to see if it's that. No, can I just do the, like, I don't know, that color? So it does render. So there's something going wrong with the clear color. Okay. Come on, this is pure Win32. There's no platform for flipping sound. Don't need any of the sound stuff. OpenGL context. Is this not being set? It is clearly something's going wrong with the. I don't need any depth bits and I don't need any stencil bits. Ever. Pretty much. This should work fine. Should do. Got that there. But the clear... Oh, I know what's gone wrong. Clear color. Oh, absolute moron. I changed how this worked. So this is expand values. So color isn't actually... So it's really faint because I changed how color worked when I'm uploading things. So the layout is different now. So this should be 4 times a float. And that's false. So now it's correct. Okay, so we're back to where we were. And I got rid of SDL. We're doing it raw. Yeah. Okay. So that's fine. And if I do this, this all works as I expect. We want the mouse thing, wasn't it? And you were saying it was... Oh... in that old code, which is... Sorry. Did it? Where was it? Here, enable mouse. So in the platform init, I'm going to just do it like here-ish, I guess. Oh, yeah, let's just do it here. It's not really a problem where I enable it. So then this now acts like a pointer, so does this. We can then go back to what I was doing before. And go back to that Win32 code, so wind proc here, and then we have the context, don't we? Yeah. Main. We can draw this stuff, right? These touch points. TP, touch point. And then we have the position. Now the problem is with the position we were doing previously is that touch point has to be calculated and transformed into the right coordinate system. Right? Because at the moment, it's going to be in pixel space and we don't want pixel space. It'll work, but I don't want pixel space. I want it to be in camera space, like actual like canvas space. So for the time being, we're just going to cheat. Say it's actually correct because it should be. And that's okay. So tp.pressure equals 1. And then we have finger ID, which we can get rid of. That should be fine. So if I do this, oh look, now it's all wrong because that point isn't the right place. So we have point.x, point.y. Now it's in the right place, yeah? And look, it seems like, honestly, it looks like it's a higher resolution. mostly. I can still see the spreading, but at least we're now not using SDL and we can just do it manually. This looks like there is enough pointer history on this kind of thing, so that seems okay to me. When it's in contact, we can add to this buffer thing. That would be a stroke. So we need to know where the defining aspects of a stroke are. So when we start and when we stop. So when we start, we've got a new stroke, and when we have a pen up, it stops the stroke, right? We have all that information in between, and we can just add it to the stroke that we're currently drawing. So effectively, we need to get the current thing in there. So we've got the pointer flags. We then have down, update, and up. So if that's down, so we can say down. Let's do up. Not pointer info, sorry. Pointer flags. Down, up, down, up. Okay, so that then does that definition. And you can see this is not, there's no interpolation yet, and I won't do linear. I'm going to do like some, at least it's going to check others and try and do the proper lineation between it. But it kind of works as I expect at the moment, right? So I could just go, hello. And in fact, what I could do here is I go back to main. We don't need cat multiplying, but I do like that yellow, right? So if I just put that yellow in there, so color, oops, back for that. Right, this is not bad for a stream, right? So, yeah, this is where, look, there's no interpolation going on. We should have enough to do everything. But it's not good enough, in my opinion, right? So, we don't want the touch points. I was already planning out some like bucket procedures about how I'm going to do this with strokes and how I'm going to strange this and do that there. It should be fine. But what does the chat think? So I'm just looking through the chat. I'm trying to think this through. So, this is working. So if we do a beginner stroke, like this, if we go slow enough, look at that. That looks still shit because you can see how rough it is. I can't move. There's no way to move the camera at the moment. So what I'm going to do here is if I'm moving, it should be okay. So I need to figure out which mode I'm going in. So when you do that pointer update, so let me just look at how, when do I actually do the, is it peek message? Yeah, here. I peek the message out. Because the problem is when I'm doing the space drag, the space can't be held. So I'm gonna just go back to where the problem is. We may not even need the wind prop. We can just peek and everything, right? This might be just peekable. What I'm trying to say. Peek message. If it is peekable, that's great news for me. But it doesn't look like it. Or is it? Is it just wind? Yeah, okay. So, oh, it is peakable. So we don't even need it in the wind proc. Okay, that's good news. But then I also need to do here is I don't need to add it. Right? Is there a way of getting the pressure as well from these pointer information? Because that would be nice. So, pointer info. It's telling the time, the history, the states, performance count, the button type. I don't care about that. Like, I don't know if I can get the, like, the pressure information from that. Honestly, I very rarely use the pressure stuff, but it isn't that bad of an idea. Apparently you can get it from that thing, but maybe I'm not very smart. Where's pressure on this? We got pixel location, the high metric location, pixel location raw, high metric location. What is high metric? Is that high DPI? That might be useful. But input data? Is it the input data? I'm gonna find out. No. What's the thing that's changing to get the pressure? So if it says here. What the hell is this? No, I'm not clicking that. That was just no. The current way is getting the info. Yeah, but where do you get the pressure stuff? So you can get pointer pen info. Oh, okay. That's good news. Get pointer pen info. We have a pointer ID already. Pen info. Pen info. Pointer pen info. So what is this struct defined as? Oh, it's relatively simple. That is. That's good. That's good enough. Now we even got tilt on there. Oh, that's great. That's great news. Okay. So it's even got the pointer info for that thing, which is like, okay, we've got pen flags. I'm guessing that's a, keep it simple, a D word. Oh no, it's perfect because we even have, if it's the eraser or not. Woohoo! Okay, that's good news. Pen mask. So I'm gonna, okay. We have the pressure, rotation, tilt. So pen flags, I'm gonna make that be a distinct bit set of a pen flag. And that's the D word again. It's going to be barrel, inverted, eraser. Yeah, that's perfect. And then we have a pen mask. which is another... What am I doing? D word. So we have pressure. This is just defines what's been defined, obviously, which is great. Rotation, tilt, X, tilt. I don't need the tilts yet for any time soon, but that is good information to have, obviously. Oops, that doesn't need to be defined like that. So now it's all in there. Get point pen info is not doing defined. I'm guessing that's how that's defined, isn't it? Yeah, that was kind of obvious. In fact, it's not. It's just called pen info. It's not even got a P, but it's not very consistent now, is it? So, WM pointer update. We've got this random printing going on. If we go here, there's loads. Okay, that's good news. So now we've got the pen info. If pen info dot pen mask, and we have, let's say, pressure in that, then we know the pressure thing was set. Well, what does that pressure, what units are that in? Okay. I know what unit, that's 10, that's a 10-bit number. Is my config available anywhere? Not really. I don't know why, it's very basic. I don't do much any different, so. So where am I looking at? That pen info. That pressure, it's, yeah, between that. So it's the, if I convert that to an F32, divided by 1024, right? TP pressure equals that. Well, the problem is this is just doing a very literally linear pressure, but I would have to do a different curve, because one of the things I have is like, look, I don't actually hit that very hard when I use my pen. I'm not doing like that. So I think eventually, just to use my software to explain what I want to do with the software, right? I effectively want it to have this kind of ramp. At the moment, it's linear, which is not what I want. I want this. So a little bit of thing would be a lot higher up than here. So it's effectively equivalent if I was doing this. So effectively, I want that kind of ramp on the pressure. And that's really easy at the moment, because all I need to do is effectively do the square root of it, because that's kind of the curve that I'm looking for. Just for the basic example, right? We've got this. That feels already a lot better to me, just by doing the square root. It says here it's just 1024. We have the tilt information, which I don't really need yet. But that would be useful things later. But it's kind of nice now, because we've now queried it, we've got the pressure, we've got the information, we can then do the interpolation afterwards. Right. I'm going to probably call this a night in a minute, because I'm pretty happy. I'm just going to commit to these changes to my local Git repo. Who said you didn't need to know math to do programming? That's not a lie. Absolute utter lie. Yeah. Yeah, you know, yeah, for rotating brush tips, yeah, it makes perfect sense for the tilt. I'm like, I understand it. It's just, I'm not doing it yet. But the thing is, we could probably actually measure the tilt here, right? In fact, you know what? Pen info, tilt X, and then tilt Y. Look, I have a pen. Look, and you can see it's tilting. Well, that's getting to, these are in degrees, obviously. Look, you can see which way if I do this, and then I rotate it, I'm also rotating it. So there's a rotation as well. So the problem is the tilt is also it's useful to know the rotation and the tilt, but for me, the tilt isn't, it's like you've got different things. This is the product I am building, right? This is the thing I'm building. It's not available yet. It should be available on a week today, is the plan, right? Because I'm doing a jam. So we've got the tilt information. We even have the rotational information on this. Right? Look at that. You got it says there's no rotation on this, apparently. Even though I'm like, okay, that's good to know. But I'm pretty happy with that now, actually. Like, look, this is not a hello kind of thing. Now, the other thing is I don't want to add anything, is if I look at the IO on this, and if key down, is key? Wait. Yeah, if key's down, if I say this space, if not is down, then we can deal with it. Right, space is not doing anything, which is perfect. If we have space down, which is going to be our drag, by the way, move tool, we can just pretty much ignore all of these. Like literally, just ignore all of it. So then we can just draw this, and the space down will actually act as a move for the camera. So this is all the thing, but this is meant to be genericized. So we're going to have this on here for pointer information. I'm going to have just like a maximum thing as well. This is max gamepads. We've got gamepads on here. So we're going to have this call as pointer infos. So max pointer info. So that's a pointer info. Yeah. Pointer info count. Like that, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Let's say the maximum of these is 60. I don't know how many we could hypothetically get. So let's say there's a maximum of like 64 maybe. So we have the position. And that position is going to be in screen space. So we do that. We have a pressure, which is then normalized. It's going to be the state. Let's say it's U32, so that is non, down, up. Oh, no, so let's say pressed, released, down. Let's call it that, just to keep it the same with the the keys of everything. And then we're going to just keep this abstract, obviously. I think that's going to be good enough for me. So when we do the to init for context, I'm just seeing how we do the init context. We do that there. So it's a platform update. And then we do the Finny. So the Finny, all that's going to do here is going to do point infos count equals 0. Okay. So you may be asking me, why am I doing this? I'm trying to keep the platform code completely separate. So when we need to do it, we can. The touch point thing is not needed anymore. So we can just do the pressure here. If context.io pointer info count is less than the length of that. I'm not going to have to do the pointer infos. We're not even call pointer info is fine for the time being. We're going to just add to it now. So defer plus, I don't even do defer, we just do this. We can do this. So the position is going to be in the screen space. So that's going to be dead easy. Pressure is going to be the pressure. We're going to store that there. We're not even do the touch points anymore. Like that. And then the state, this is going to be the pointer state. I'm going to put state here as well, actually. Let's just do this. So state. Like that. Going to be none by default. So if down in PT pointer flags, state equals, so that's going to be pressed. Else it's going to be up. Else if it's in contact, that's going to be down. Or held. Let's call it held. Because I think that's a little bit less ambiguous for this particular case. Yeah, even though it's maybe not consistent. We don't need that. So now this is all completely genericized, which is actually wonderful. Well, they can be I32s, not... You know what? I'm going to do MF32s because hypothetically, like, it could... Do I say mouse position is I32? Yeah, I do. It's not going to be any better. Okay. Okay, that's good news. There's no more pointer counts, but now we can actually handle that back in the application, right? So on the update thing here, context.io, pointer infos, info count, PIs, for PI in PIs, penned, what's it called? These were touch points, right? This is just me, my dumb code, obviously. Look at that. Now we've abstracted away and we never even had to use Win32 code in here. Wonderful, right? Do any of you devs... Oh, okay, no. Right, so that is working as I expect. It's now done on a per frame basis. And it's added to a queue, obviously. When you peek. And I don't know if this is worse than before. It doesn't look that bad, actually. We'll figure out the interpolation problems later. So this is kind of nice to know. I don't know if we could call it pointer info. We could do this just pointer packet, maybe? Okay. And they're going to be called PPs now. PP. Packet state. Because I think it's more of a packet, really. Because you can have up to 64 a frame, I'm saying. Okay? So I'm happy with that. It's abstracted it away. We can also get it working ready for when it gets to JavaScript side as well. This is a pointer packet. This should be nice. So this is actually would be it's going to improve Gordon Crow, whatever I'm calling it. There. So that's kind of nice. So we've got all that. So this is where I'm going to do the update call. And my idea for the update call in this particular case is going to be the, like, if I'm just going to call this, we haven't got undo or anything. We haven't even got a bloody save state yet, but we'll do that later. I'm going to call this, it's called, remember, this project is called, for the time being, Huth, but, in by nut canvas. At the moment, it's not infinite. It's actually like there, right? So, whoops. Oh God, that got. Oh, that's a bug. Like, look, it's picking up a packet, but it never got. That's right, actually, yeah. So, oh yeah, it's because if pp dot. I don't know if it's held down, it's in contact, right? Yeah. So when it's up, it's not in contact. So effectively, I only want to append them if pp.state is. Let's just switch on that first. Pressed or held, and then released. I also had none in there, so there's a none of the above kind of category. Yeah, that's fine. That's good news. And we don't want to add any of that. Well, we can add it every single frame. We just don't care if key down, if space is in, then we don't want to do that. After this, we can deal with it. This is now going to be if it's pressed down. So the thing is, this, when we do a pointer down, does that count if as a mouse down with that pointer press is what I'm going to ask out, right? So holding down space, press. No, it doesn't. But we're using OpenGL at the moment for the rendering. It's not necessarily the best thing in the world, but yeah, it's working. The problem I've got here is I'm like, okay, so this does not register as a mouse click, which is kind of annoying. But it is kind of correct, right? So I also need to know the delta. Like, these don't even tell me the pointer packets. This will be the delta position. Like, do I have the... Yeah, let's call it delta. Right? Now we need to handle those deltas. We don't care about SDL2. I haven't set up the deltas yet, so delta. There's a reason why I'm going to be handling delta. You'll see in a minute. Delta. Where do I... Is it in the pointer info? Yeah, I'm going to fix up these ones here with the pointer flags. I probably need to add some more in there. Just because clearly there's a hell of a lot more that I'm missing. And I probably do need it, so I don't need none. So this would be new. New, I don't really care about, to be honest with you. In range. So 1. Flag first button, because this is where... It's not 3, it's actually 4 in this case, right? Because it's OX... Yeah, ooh. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out in my head. That's going to be 5. 6. Okay, so there's loads of these. That's now, what, 7. That's 8. And they can just get them taken off, right? Primary is design as a primary pointer. So that's kind of what I'm going to be setting as, especially class that as a mouse click as well, I think. Okay. So what is that? And then log to that. That's 13. Confidence, cancelled, flag down, update, wheel. I don't care about the rest of them. So when I press down, now, I said I was going to go. I'm going in a minute. Don't worry. It is now getting way too past my bedtime. Are they wrong? No, they're not wrong. I'm doing the log 2 of them, remember? So they're actually correct. So, yeah. I want to know if that's primary. So if I have... we've got the flags here. If primary in pointer flags, let's print here. Okay. Primary. And you know what? Let's print all of the flags. In fact, let's just make sure it only happens on down. So it has first button. There's a 14 as well. I've not checked for, but it doesn't matter. It's a first button. So I'm going to class that as a mouse down as well. Because there's a mouse, like all these different mouse updates as well. Like I do mouse stuff here, apparently. Okay. Now the mouse position is just going to be the point here, isn't it? Okay. Let's say that's all true. This then needs to be... Yeah. So if that's in and also in the window, we're going to class that as a mouse down. So context.io, it's going to be mouse pressed. Or just, we'll say it's down. Right? Say left. Oh no, let's no. I'm trying to figure out is if primary is in that, that's fine. And p dot pointer flags, and with down and in contact doesn't equal nil, and it's in the window. So let's just put this all in parentheses as well, just to make it clearer. We're going to class that as being down. Okay, so when we come down to this, that is now being registered as if it's been down. So if left is in here, we now need to figure out the delta, which is fine. We need to do the mouse click position. So it does like this. Point. Like that. Now we'll just do, if it, wherever it was clicked, that's fine. Yeah, that should be enough, so... Okay, so now all I wanted to do was figure out to move it. So we need to move the camera. So cantex.camera. Yeah, so main, camera, okay. And I wanted the offset. Yeah. Dot X. So is.mouse delta. So dot X dot Y. That's not deltaing. This one, on the other hand, we now update the mouse position. Yeah. This is now going to be equal the point.x, the point.y. Yeah. I also need to now figure out the how does it calculate the mouse delta. Well, it's storing the last mouse position and the current mouse position. So that is... Right, let's do it there. And that does that. So... that is never deltaing, which is kind of a pain. But if I now go back to doing this, yeah, it deltas when I... So if I do this, now look, oh, everything's completely off in the position. But that's because correctly, this is wrong, right? I do this, so vector 2, I now need to convert that position into the world space. Maybe a little bit costly, what I'm going to be doing here. It's just going to be the full matrix calculation. Which is this. But it will make sense, right? Is GLM imported? No, it's not. Okay, so glm.inverse. Position.x, position.y, 0, it's homogeneous, so we need to do that. Call that P4, then we'll return P4.xy. So this gives me the world space now. according to all of that. So width, that's going to be the screen width. Camera. Camera near, camera far? I mean, it's there. Undeclared there's a draw state, but there should be a camera, right? Because there should be only one camera for all of the draw states that I know of. Which is why I'm a little bit confused. Unless I spelt, yeah, I spelt camera wrong. I put an extra E in there. I was like, that's why it's not finding it. Now it's not even drawing anything. But that's kind of what I expected. What does P2 actually look like? Absolutely fucking wrong. Okay, so this is what I'm thinking of, right? This is taking a position. It's then translating that position into the screen space, right? Of course it is. Of course that is, but this isn't the right thing because that isn't the screen space that I'm thinking of, right? So that is going to be like that. Yeah, that's what that should have done. But now it's in 0 to 1. So it should be to get the screen space, but then that needs to be upside down because we're doing a different coordinate space. Ah, there we go. If I now move that, hey, look at that, guys. Look at that. It moves around with my mouse, and then it's now drawing in the wrong place. But we moved because it's still drawing it in the wrong space, but that is actually pretty damn cool. Okay? You got to admit, that is pretty damn cool. Okay, so we've got some moving. That was what I wanted. Some panning going on. Right? Move, move, draw, move, draw. It's still doing it in the world space according to where I'm doing it from, which is technically wrong. Right? Wrong, right, wrong. So it's moving it, I'm drawing it, but it's now, look, it's completely wrong where the position is. Because it's basing it back where it should have done. So we're going from screen space to world space. Again, it's correctly wrong again. It's a brilliant phrase, a turn of phrase, but yeah. Is the offset, no, because I've got camera offset, right? But is it meant to be translate, target? I can't remember what I'm doing. I can't remember what the target or the offset's meant to be, but I think that's meant to be offset, right? And now it's kind of like doing it in the wrong place, which suggests to me I'm doing something wrong. Because you're going from those positions, sorry, I'm doing those positions there, and applying that matrix. Which I would have thought this would, oh no, you can't, you idiot, Bill. have to do the matrix multiply after you've moved everything. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I was a moron. It was the order of operations I had to figure out, which was that. Look at that. Move it across. Look at that. Move that. We are now rendering and panning already. This is getting pretty good. I'm happy with that so far. If you know what I mean. This is still like OpenGL specific code, which isn't the best thing in the world, to be honest with you. But it should work. Like it is OpenGL enough everywhere already, so that's okay. So now we've got to that stage. The only other thing that, sorry, I'm probably talking too loud. The only thing I'm trying to think of is like that's rendering correctly. Like It's just it's not moving when I press down space there. Because for some reason, it's not registering a mouse delta when I register one of those events. Right? Wrong. The work question. Space in. It's not. I'm not doing any checks for space ins. This should have been registered, and this should have been registered as a position. Like, okay, so it's registering the mouse position here, but I bet what's happened, I'm going to just say mouse position set. Now it works. Whoa, cooking on gas. Whoa, I can go. Hello. Ooh, no. Okay, so what was happening is that it was like I'm holding down space and I'm just it's yeah. So what the problem here is the mouse delta is wrong for the pointer still, because I'm taking this. It could be taken off. And up, not in PII pointer flags, right? Like, look, I'm doing this, and it's doing the jumps. So that's the only thing I'm thinking it's kind of wrong about. So it's very much the pointer info delta. Okay, so we only want it when it's in contact then, don't we? Because anything else, it doesn't really make any sense if we just take it off. Look, you can see this, the jittering, right? Because this is... doesn't work as well. But we're getting there. I am pretty sure now. The good God, my cheese is melting in here. Starting to pool, which means it needs to go into the fridge. But that was, I guess, it's lovely, but it needs to go in the fridge. But yeah, this is wrong. As soon as you have it like comes off, and if up. Well, it might be multiple in one frame. That's what I'm thinking of now. So maybe, no, that doesn't work. So this isn't working right. I don't know now. But either way, it kind of works. Like, see what I mean? I'm pressing down on space. Yeah, that doesn't work as I expect. And also you have to figure out, like, was it already down? If I press space, it doesn't matter. Because if I press, like, hold this down and then move the space, none of that should be affected. But it, oh, fucking hell. It clearly works with a pointer now. And any mouse button I'm pressing down on as well, by the way, looks of it. Which is interesting to say the least. I would have only allowed... no, it needs to be allowed if it's only if the primary, I guess. Well, no, if it's not primary. It's the other flag I want is the first button, isn't it? It's only if it's like the first button. Oh yeah, I also need to know the other states. Like we've got like if it's eraser, don't we? Pen packets. So we need to know it's not just the state. We need to know flags. Like that. That was a typo there. If eraser in pen info flags. The delta's not even stored there correctly, so we don't need it. And then we have state. Under pen flags, okay. So then what we can do here is we've got all that information. We've got a color that we've got to, and then we've also got like the background color. So if eraser in these flags, this is what I'm going to do for the eraser. It's going to be dead easy. All we do is we swap the color to be the clear color, right? Huh? Well, they're touch points. Ah. My touch point thing is kind of bollocks, isn't it? Yeah, let's just put the color in the touch point itself, right? And then we have color. And it'll be by default that. And if it's actually got the eraser in the PP flags here, we have the clear color, right? Dead simple. Right, let's take its eraser. Oh, look at that! Hey, we have that, and we have an eraser. So I can say hello, or just hell, and then just get rid of the erase this out. Remember this. and that, and that, and that. Oh, look how good that is. We have some erasing going on, which is just writing over it with the background color, but it's erasing, right? So if we go like that, and then go, woof, woof, right, left. I keep saying the word right. It sounds like a very bad tick. I knew someone actually had a tick who used to say right a lot. Let's just say that. But yeah. Okay, dokie, jiggery pokey. I think this is actually a good thing for Cuthbert tonight. So we go Cuthbert. And then I can just do an erasing thing on here. So I can go whoop, 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 whoop. There we go. Look at that. Okay. Good. Bad. And somewhere in between. Okay. So what I need to do next, and it might be on stream, it may be on stream, I have no idea. This is pretty much, we're getting there. Like, this is the most dumbest thing in the world. It has no interpolation. It hasn't got anything to do with like the hardness. We're doing the pressures. The pressures all we're doing is change the brush size. We have no control over the brush size yet. We have no literally measuring of the strokes. We have no ability to save, no ability to undo, read. We have no, but none of that. But notice, like, we've got the foundations there so far, right? And we're just using raw Win32. I kind of said, screw SDL. We don't need it. We don't need it if we're only going to target Windows, especially for this. If we can get other platforms, that would be great, but not for the time being. So how are you planning to make the curve smooth? Well, I'm going to do a bit of general interpolation. So I am going to be rendering these curves every single frame, like regenerating them. Might sound like a bit crazy to do, like, oh, that's going to be costly. And like, probably not, actually. It might be. I might be wrong, actually. But we'll find out, is what I'm trying to say. But my view is that depending on what scale you're on, you can only generate different vertices. So if you're on a small, you're going to... So we could draw it with my system to explain what I'm going on here. We could actually do it. But in words, you're going to have the same amount of things where if you zoom in, it's going to use the same amount of like interpolation for like the vertices. And if you zoom out, it's going to use the same. So it doesn't matter which scale you're at, it's going to be interpolated correct. You don't going to have that Milton problem where it's done the interpolation at one scale and that interpolation doesn't work at other scales, so it doesn't generate it correctly. And I'm being like, taking the assumption that which I can do it fast enough. Do it fast enough every single frame. It should be fine. Now, yeah, this is what I mean. Then we're going to have to do something with the UI. So we're going to have a nice little palette. Going to have all these things here. Like, I want something better than Milton is the best way of putting it. But then eventually there's other things in the future, which is clearly out the scope of this week. Like, for instance, color blending. Like, if you had some opacity over stuff, how is it going to color blend? Like, the dumb way is you do RGBA, mix it with the alpha and do it that way. And I'm like, well, that's not actually how colors work. You need like a CMYK approach, and it's got to be look more like your eyes. So it's kind of like, well, maybe all our color palettes shouldn't be RGB. They'll all be stored as CMYK, and then they get converted to RGB, obviously, because it has to be on a display that runs on RGB. Then all your color calculations are actually done in the CMYK, but I don't know which color space. You'd have to choose one, obviously. Some fake paint space, and it would look better, right? But that's completely out of the scope of this thing. In fact, I might not even have opacity yet. I might just have, like, as if it's a whiteboard. So if anyone's got any questions, that should be it. Otherwise, I'm going to bed because it's 1:20 and I am tired. And my sleep schedule's already screwed up. But hey ho. Anyone got any questions before I go to bed? You've got the next couple seconds. That was it. That was cool. No, I'm joking. If you only want to wait longer. Okay, so good night, everybody. And this will probably be up on YouTube as well. So watch it there if you missed it right now. So bye.